You are listening to an episode of the Pour Over podcast. God may be writing your story, but the chapters in between can be messy and hard to figure out. This podcast is a place for listeners to be encouraged, built up, and poured into so we can go out and pour into others. We discuss real topics that Christians face in their everyday lives, from foundations of faith to just figuring it out. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into it. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Pour Over podcast. Hi. Hello, welcome. If you are new here, I am so glad that you are here. I'm so glad you clicked on this episode. This podcast is really just a place for believers to come and talk about the realities of walking with Jesus and living out our Christian lives. It is not always easy, but I always keep it real here. I'm always honest. And I am hoping and praying that this is a place for you to just be encouraged and built up in your faith, not only for you, not only for your benefit, but also so you can go out and pour into other people as well from what you've learned. So, thank you for tuning in, clicking on this episode. I am hoping you absolutely love it here. If you are not new to the podcast, and you are a loyal member of the Pop Fam, I am so thankful for you. I am so thankful that you tune in week after week. You guys, I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx myself, but I feel like we're kind of building a community here, which you're probably thinking, well, duh, Kyla, of course we're building a community here. We're the Pop Fam, but I have more and more people talking to me in person about the podcast. And I'm like, wait, like, what is it? I think it's like who was it? I think it was someone on the Jake Shane podcast, or maybe it was Jake Shane. I don't know, but what's that like TikTok audio where it's like, "Wait, you're knowing about my stuff?" Like that's me. Okay, I don't know. If you're not like chronically online, maybe you're thinking, "What is this girl talking about?" But if you know, you know. But I feel like that's how like I feel when people talk to me about the podcast. Like I had a coworker bring it up today, and I was like, like, "Wait, you listen to me? Like, what?" I always just get so kind of shy when people ask me about the podcast, which is silly because I'm not a shy person, and I know I have a podcast. I know other people know I have a podcast, but then people, like, come up and talk to me about it, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, we're, like, kind of a community here." But I'm just glad you guys are here, whether it's your first time listening or your millionth time listening, I'm just glad that we are here, and I'm excited to get into a new episode. We didn't have a new episode last week. I am so sorry. I got this crazy illness that I think actually like a lot of people are getting. I don't know what it's called. Some people say it's like the adenovirus. Other people are saying it's the flu. I don't know. It kind of just felt like a really bad cold. And you might still be able to hear it a little bit in my voice, but I was like half conscious last week, guys. Honestly, it was rough. It was really rough. And as a girl with asthma, anything upper respiratory, excuse me, is like a death sentence for me. I just immediately am like, all right, well, there goes my life. But I am recovering. I'm getting better. I'm feeling better. I went to the gym today, praise the Lord, and I'm getting there. So I'm sorry about no episode last week, but hey, I keep it real here. And if I'm being real, I was dying. I was sick. So I'm sorry. I didn't want you guys to hear my crusty, dusty, musty voice, but we're back this week, and I am sitting here in my room recording this episode with a fresh bowl of ramen, which I am really excited to eat, except I kind of think I didn't add enough water. It's not looking very cooked. I think I might have to soften it up a little bit. But that's okay. I'm really excited to get into my ramen. But before I get into my ramen, we are getting into today's episode. And we are going to be talking about things I wish someone had told me about adulthood. I am turning 24 this year, and I will say that I am by no means an expert on adulthood. I am not necessarily a seasoned adult, but I am 6 years into adulthood, and I feel like I have already learned a few lessons, some that I have learned the hard way. And there are just some things I wish I knew before I went into adulthood. This is for anyone who is going into adulthood. Maybe you are transitioning from high school to college life, or maybe you're like me and you're in your early to mid 20s and you're just kind of trying to figure it out and do your best. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lost, or maybe you are well into adulthood and you need some good, healthy reminders. That is what we are talking about today. These are my thoughts and reflections on adulthood from a girl in her early 20s. Let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, I have to say, I wish someone had told me that you are going to have to take control of your health. I feel like when you're a kid, your parents just kind of take care of you, right? They just make sure you get outside, eat healthy, stay active. They take you to all of your doctor's appointments. They kind of do all the things for you. But when you become an adult, you know who has to do all of that? You do. You do. So when you're sick, you have to take yourself to the doctor. You have to get yourself medicine. You have to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to stay healthy. And honestly, sometimes it feels like a full time job. You've got to make sure you're drinking enough water, eating meals with whole foods, which don't come at me for the ramen, okay? I know there's no whole foods in that, but it sounded really good. So don't come at me for that. But you've got to make sure that you're getting enough protein in, that you're exercising regularly, you're taking vitamins, and this is all entirely up to you. No one else is going to make sure that you stay healthy. It is on you. You have to actually make those decisions to talk to your doctor if you have concerns. You have to actually speak up. And it is so easy to let your health fall on the back burner and to let it slip you by. Your metabolism can start to slow down as you get older. Your body and routines change. And before you know it, it's been months since you've been in the gym and exercised. You don't remember the last time you had whole foods in one meal consistently. And it feels like you are constantly starting the process all over again of taking care of yourself. But your health is so important, especially the older you get. And the way I see it, I don't want to be one of those older ladies who's too broken or out of shape to do the things that I want to do and to enjoy the rest of my life. I don't want to look back and wish that I had made healthier decisions when I was younger. So I have to make good decisions now. But again, no one is going to do that for me. You know who's going to make me go to the doctor if I don't make me go to the doctor? Nobody. You know who is going to buy healthy groceries for me if I don't buy healthy groceries for me? No one. You know who's going to make sure that I am hydrating and taking vitamins and getting enough sleep? Nobody. It is all entirely up to you. As an adult, you have to take control of your health. You have to make daily decisions that your health matters. You actually have to make your health a priority. And like I said, it's so easy for you to let your health slip by and go on the back burner, but it matters, you guys. It is so important. The way your body processes things and the way you feel in your body, it seeps into every bit of your life. Like, I am so much happier when I am making healthy decisions, which probably sounds like common sense, but let's be real. Sometimes we don't really care that much about our bodies and we don't really take care of ourselves, but it really does affect everything. It really does affect our quality of life. So I wish that I had kind of understood that starting off into adulthood, I guess, because I kinda just thought, like, I would have the same body forever, which I don't even know why I thought that, but I didn't really think like, "Oh, I'm actually going to have to make daily decisions and routines and have disciplines to take care of myself every single day. And it is going to be up to me. Like, no one is going to make me do it. I have to actually take control for my own health and actually make those decisions for myself. So I really wish someone had told me that and kind of emphasized just how much your health and your, especially your physical health, but just your health overall seeps into every bit of your life. Again, no one is going to make you do these things. You have to do these things for you. You have to take care of yourself. No one is going to make you get up, go for that 30-minute walk. You have to take charge of your health. Okay, I also wish that someone had told me how much a budget really matters. When I was fresh out of high school and I got my first real job and I started making some money, I could have saved and budgeted better. I didn't really have any financial responsibilities at the time, so I kind of spent money willy nilly on clothes or food or things I just really didn't need. And because I didn't have any financial responsibilities, I wasn't thinking, oh, I need to save this. I should put some of this money away. I don't need to spend like this. I should limit myself. And now that I have my own place and my own bills in my name, I kind of have had to learn that sticking to a budget might not be easy, but it's really necessary. It's not fun to have all these financial responsibilities now that I have to spend money on these things, and I really do miss being able to go to Target on a Friday night and just buy whatever I want because I feel like it. Now I buy shampoo and deodorant, I pay for gas, and none of that is exciting. But I feel like as a young adult, especially fresh out of high school, I really could have used someone stepping in and saying, "Hey, you're going to want to put some of that away, stick to a budget." It would have prepared me better for the future. Now, I'm doing okay, but I do think that I didn't really grasp how important it is to stick to a budget and how you really do have to have discipline when it comes to your spending. I just think back to all the times I would buy In and Out for no reason. Like, In and Out's great, but like, did I really need to go get In and Out whenever I felt like it? No, not really. Did I really need to buy coffee and acai bowls every 5 minutes? No, not really, which, listen, I still spend probably more on coffee than I should, but that's different because now I have friends who own and work at a coffee shop. So, supporting local. But anyways, all these things that when you don't really have any financial responsibilities, you don't really think like, oh, the money I have right now, I could limit myself, budget, and stick to that budget, and I could save that money for the future. Like, this money does not have to be spent. Like, I don't have to spend money just because I have money. Like, I should be saving that. I should be putting that aside and really investing and being smart about what I'm spending my money on. So, I do think that it would have been better for me to grasp that at an early age, which, it's just part of growing up, maturing, gaining those financial responsibilities. Once you do start paying for things on your own, I mean, you kind of just learn that. But I wish that as an adult, as a young adult, like fresh out of high school, I had understood that, you go from being a kid and having all your stuff paid for to being an adult and these payments are in your name. And there's a way for you to get ahead of the game. You don't always have to feel behind. You can make wise choices at a young age. So, like I said, I'm doing okay right now, but I just wish that I had been able to understand money better and understand a budget better and really understood how important a budget really is. I also wish that someone had told me it is okay for your circle to change. And that is something I'm still wrestling with. I had a lot of the same friends for years, but because of life transitions and different things going on, I am not as close to some of those people. And it was really hard at first. The reality is, not everyone is going to stay in your life forever, so it is difficult to navigate the end of a friendship feeling like you're losing someone, but that's honestly so normal. And it is okay for people to come and go. God puts people in your life for a reason. And that reason might just be a season, and that season isn't always forever. Sometimes it's temporary, but he could also be making a way for new people to come into your life, for you to gain new relationships. And that can be such a blessing. Now, I don't know if anyone else has had a hard time with this, but I feel like I just kind of always expected to stay friends with people forever, which is kind of crazy to think about. And that's probably not really realistic. But learning to navigate losing someone who used to be a huge part of your life, or even just losing a closeness that you had with someone, can be really difficult. And say that even a year ago, I felt like I was dealing with a shift in friendships, and I kind of felt alone. I felt like I really didn't have anyone, and I felt like everyone was all in the same place of life and all doing things together, and I felt like I was stuck on the outside, and I just had no one to do life with me, and it was so hard. It was really lonely, and I was really sad. But I will say, a year later, I now feel like I have really good friendships in my life. And some of those friendships are with people that I either didn't know at the time, or people I never really imagined being that close with. But I'm loving my circle right now. It has good people who are fun, they're positive, they're a joy to be around. But again, it wasn't always like that. And it is okay for your circle to shift. God moves people in and out of your life for a reason. And I will say he's always brought the right people into my life when I needed them, even through ups and downs of friendships. And so if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. But I feel like that's just not something that really gets talked about when you go off to college, or when you have a family, or when you jump into the workforce. Like, your life changes and your schedule changes, your routine changes, and it's like that for everybody. The people that you were best friends with in high school, you guys might go separate ways, and you're probably not thinking, oh, like, I'm not gonna talk to that person every single day, and that's hard, but that's normal, and that's okay, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic, it doesn't have to end in a really negative way. You kind of just might transition out of someone's life, or they might transition out of yours, and that's okay. You just have to trust God with your circle. That is something that you can really just lay at his feet and say, "Listen, Lord, like, I really want to stay friends with this person, but I trust you, and I trust that you're gonna bring the right people into my life, and I trust that you're gonna surround me with people that are good for me, that build me up, that encourage me, that point me back to you, that encourage me to be strong in my faith and to walk in obedience to you." And when you let the Lord take control of that, he will do a good thing. I have seen it time and time again in my life where I called to the Lord and I asked him to just be in full control of my circle, and he has always made sure that the right people were in my life, and it's just been such a blessing. God has done so many incredible things through the people that he's put in my life, but it's normal. It is normal and okay for your circle to change. You just have to trust that the Lord is going to put the right people in your life. Okay, the next one I'm not going to talk about for too long because I actually have a podcast episode coming up where I'm kind of talking about this a little bit, and I'm going to get much, much deeper into it. Kind of for the first time, actually. I'm going to be fully exposing myself, but I'm here for it, and it's for the good of the podcast. But I wish someone had told me that my body was going to change. I wish someone had told me my body was going to change. Like I've mentioned before, I kind of always just felt like I would just have the same body forever, and that is not the case. That's not the case. And I don't know why I thought that. I don't know if I just wasn't understanding the concept of like aging. Hello, Kyla. That's like a normal human thing that happens. But I didn't think my body would change that much, even into my early 20s, and it did. It did change. And that was something that I struggled with, and something I have had to navigate and learn to be okay with and learn to accept. And that does, of course, play into the whole taking care of your health factor. But you know what? It is so normal for your body to grow and change and look different the older you get. That's normal. That's normal. And especially as I mean, I can't talk for the men, but as a woman, for the females out there, your hormones are changing. You are becoming a woman, a fully grown adult woman. And so your body's going to change with that. Your hormones change with that. And that is okay. That is normal. And that's going to happen. And you don't have to feel like you have to punish yourself for that. You don't have to feel like you have to hate your body for that. It's good. It's beautiful. You're growing up. You're maturing. You're stepping into womanhood and adulthood. And same for the guys out there, too. Like, you are becoming a man. Like, that is not weird. That's not awkward. That's not unhealthy, that's normal. Like, your body is going to change. And instead of feeling like you have to punish yourself or feeling like you have to revert back to your prepubescent body, you just have to learn how to work with your body the way it is now and how to take care of your body the way it is now and the way your body looks and processes things now. And I don't know, like I said, I'm going to get much, much deeper into a conversation surrounding our body image as Christians and even my own struggle with my body image in a few weeks. But I am just telling you, it is so normal. And even as you go through your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, like, you are aging and that is normal and that is okay. And rather than feeling like, man, I wish I could be my 14-year-old size, when I was a size 0 and I could eat McDonald's every day and not gain weight. Like, you don't have to think like that. God has given you the body that you have right now, and aging is a blessing. There are people out there who do not get to age, and they do not get to see the age that you are at now. And what a gift it is that you still have time, that you still have days in your life that God has given you. So instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm aging, my body isn't the way it used to be, it should be the way it used to be, you need to learn to work with your body the way it is now, to take care of the way it is now. And instead of punishing yourself, learn to find the beauty in that. Learn to be grateful for that. Learn how to take care of your body the way it is today instead of feeling like it has to go back to the way you were when you were a teenager. I will say, I also wish someone had told me I don't have to do this on my own. I feel like I have spent a lot of time trying to do things and figure things out on my own. I have spent so much time trying to be independent, and I still am a pretty independent person. I like to just do things myself. Sometimes because I feel like it's just too complicated and too much work to try to talk someone through doing something, and I kind of fall into that mentality of I'll just do it myself. But I have spent so much time trying to figure it all out on my own. And I still have a hard time asking for help. But if we're being honest with ourselves, we probably all have something we are struggling with that we are afraid to ask for help with. And that is ridiculous. It's a pride thing. Honestly, a lot of the time, it's a pride thing. And there are so many people in my life that God has put in my path who have tools and resources and advice that could be at my disposal if I just asked for help. Again, this is something I am still working on. I have felt like, a lot of people don't really see me as an adult. They don't really treat me like one. They don't really respect me as one. So I feel like I've tried to be independent and do things on my own with no help at all, with sort of a I'll show them attitude. But I think that there is strength in admitting when you need help. And I also think that we cannot expect to do this life on our own. It is okay. It's good even to ask questions. That is how you learn. And I think that maybe if someone had told me, hey, I know you're trying to do it all, be it all, but realistically, you can't do it all and be it all on your own. How can I help? What do you need? I feel like that would make a big difference, and I honestly can't really blame everyone else for that. I still need to learn how to ask for help, but again, I am learning to ask for people's advice, to get their opinions and insights on things, and that's not always easy to hear, but that's when you kinda have to lay your pride and ego aside, and you have to give other people an opportunity to pour into you and to help you and to share what they know and what they have learned. You don't know it all. You don't have it all figured out, and that is okay. But I would really encourage you to take advantage of the people in your life who do have it a little bit more figured out, and you could learn a lot from them. You could go a lot further if you would just not let pride or insecurity or ego get the best of you. Don't be afraid to ask people for help. We all have areas where we need to improve. We all have something that we need to work on. That's okay. That's called being a human being and not being perfect. Totally cool, totally normal, totally okay and acceptable. But there are people in your life who may have a strength or a skill that you don't have that you can grow in if you would just ask them for help. And so I really feel like going into adulthood, I think that it would have done me a lot of good to just have someone tell me that I don't have to do this all on my own. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to admit your weaknesses. It is okay to be honest about your shortcomings, which again, it is a learning process. I am learning how to do that. We're all in this together. We're all figuring this out together. But I would really encourage you, no matter what season of life you're in, there is an area for you to grow in. Find someone who is skilled in that area and don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, last point of the night, and then I'm going to close out and enjoy my ramen. But I really wish someone had told me that everyone's journey is different and yours is unique and right for you. Here's what I mean by that. It is so easy to get caught up in the comparison game. It is so easy to look to the left and to the right and to look at what other people are doing or where other people are at and to feel like if your journey doesn't look like theirs, you must be behind. You must be off track. But truly, hear me when I say this, everyone's journey is different. Your story isn't going to look like your neighbors or your best friends or your coworkers or that guy or girl that you went to high school with. So what if they have 5 kids and one is a track star? So what if they wrote a book? So what if they are a personal trainer? That might be their story. That is not yours. Yours is unique and it's right for you. God does not make mistakes. He knows what he is doing with your life. And it is so, so, so easy to feel like you should be somewhere else doing something else when you compare yourself to others. But what God has planned for them is not the same as what he has planned for you. And that is a good thing. There is something beautiful and special about you and your story and the plan that God has for your life. You should celebrate that. You should embrace that. And I've had to remind myself to slow down. I'm not 28, I'm not 34, I'm only 23, and there's a lot in my life that I get to just enjoy. I'm not married, I don't have a husband, I don't have kids, I don't have a 3-bedroom house, I'm not 5 years and 2 promotions into my dream career, but you know what? I have my own apartment, I have a roof over my head. I have a job that allows me to openly pray and speak the word of God and to be creative and compassionate. I have friends who love me and uplift me and want the best for me. I have mentors in my life who walk through life with me and encourage me and motivate me to show up and be my absolute best and to grow. I have family that supports me. I have time in my week to pour into young people, to exercise, to move my body. I have time to spend time with friends and family that I love. I have a podcast. I have a podcast that reaches people of all ages in all parts of the world for Jesus, that encourages people, that moves people, that allows for people to feel seen and understood and cared about. And those are all big blessings. And that's what my story looks like. And I think it looks pretty dang good. I'm not going to lie. Where I'm at right now is good. And it's where God has me for a reason. My story is unique and right for me. And it might not look like your story, but it's mine. And that's okay. And that's beautiful. And it is so easy to compare or feel less than or behind. But if you trust in the Lord, if you walk in obedience to Him, if you let the Spirit of God guide you, He's not going to steer you wrong. You will always end up where you need to be with what you're meant to have if you would just trust in the Lord. And this is something I'm reminding myself of daily. Absolutely daily. Daily, I have to stop and choose gratitude and just be present. But life passes by so quickly. I know it doesn't always feel like it. I know sometimes the days or the seasons can feel so long. It can feel like they're dragging on, but it really does pass you by so quickly. Next year, I'm going to be in my mid 20s. That's crazy. And I feel like in some ways I've lived so much life, but I also know that there is still so much in store for me. And I really just want to enjoy life right now. I just want to be thankful, to be present, and I'm really working on embracing the journey that God has for me every step of the way, whatever that looks like. And again, it might not look like someone else's journey, but it's what He has for me. And that is the best place where I could be, is right where He wants me. And so, what I want you to understand listening to this, I don't know where you are in your life, what season of life you're in, but I'm telling you, if you are walking in obedience to the Lord, if you are letting the Lord guide you, if you are walking in step with the Spirit, you are right where you need to be. And your journey might not look like that other person's, but that is okay. He knows what He is doing with your life, and He has plans for your good in store for you. So you just have to trust Him, and your journey is going to be unique and right and beautiful for you. Well, that is all I have for you today. I hope that this episode encouraged you. I hope that this conversation has made you think a little bit. Again, maybe you are a young adult or going into adulthood, and these are things you can be thinking about as you transition out of being a teenager, or maybe you are well into adulthood, and these are some reminders for your everyday life. It is so easy to forget how important things are, like a budget, how you have to take charge of your health, how it's okay to let both your circle and yourself grow and change. But I pray that this episode encouraged you, and hopefully, these are all things you can be thinking about throughout your week. Next week, we are getting into the Word of God. We are doing a deep dive episode. I am so excited to get into the Word and study the Word of God with you. So please be sure to get plugged into the Pop Fam. If you're not already, go ahead and press subscribe, add to library, follow on whatever podcast streaming platform you are using, and make sure you follow the podcast Instagram. It is at the Pour Over Pod. I would love to continue to grow this community, and I do not want you guys to miss out on any new episodes coming your way. If you love this episode and you want to hear more like this, please leave a comment, subscribe, follow, rate the podcast, or even share it with a friend you think needs to hear it. This podcast can only grow with your help. And the idea is for more and more people to be encouraged in their faith and to grow and be poured into. So anything you can do helps me, helps the podcast, and it helps people grow in their walk with Christ. I love you guys. Have a fantastic week. I will see you next Tuesday.